We're spending 3 days at a cottage on beautiful Cortes Island in British Columbia. Hit that subscribe button. We'll show you what we eat and more of this. We set out for a little getaway from our home on Vancouver Island to Cortes Island. So we thought we would bring you along and show you what we packed and how we ate as two vegans away from home for a few days. Our travel day started early afternoon as we set out to catch 2 ferries. And although we weren't covering very many kilometers, the trip took us about 4 hours, factoring in the wait times for the ferries. So a packed lunch was in order. I have a brand new recipe up on the blog for a couscous pour-over salad, because once I figured out that couscous can be cooked with just cold water, I knew that there was a great recipe in there for work lunches or being on the go.
Getting stuck on a ferry, you know,
Yeah.
the usual.
So if you were like us and stuck on a ferry and didn't have access to boiling water, then this pour-over salad can be cooked, rehydrated in just 30 minutes with cold water. But if you do have access to boiling water, then it'll be ready in just 5 minutes.
How does it cook with cold water?
Oh, you haven't known? You've just been eating it?
I mean, I trust you. I have a lot of faith.
Couscous, as long as it's the Moroccan-style instant couscous. There's Israeli couscous, which is pearled. It's larger. So this recipe won't work with pearled Israeli couscous. But with the instant couscous, it's been pre-steamed and then dehydrated.
Okay.
So that's why it can be rehydrated with just cold water. It's a little less fluffy, a little less soft if you do the cold water method as opposed to boiling water, because the typical way to cook it is 5 minutes in boiling water and then it fluffs up, but it's perfectly edible with cold water.
It's delicious.
So yeah, I just add some other veg to this recipe for some crunch. Edamame is a great easy protein source. Then I whisk up a really flavorful peanut dressing.
Really came in handy. Created a Harriet Bay. Highly recommend that as well. This recipe pairs well with Harriet Bay.
It's a really nice alternative to sandwiches or wraps, just something a little different that you can take to work or you can take on a ferry. So after ferry number 1, we'd waited about a half hour and we found a cute place to sit down on Quadra Island, wait for our next ferry and stir up our salad. And then ferry number 2, we were sailing into Whale Town on Cortes Island. We fittingly saw whales.
Humpback whales.
Then a short drive took us to our cabin with amazing views.
Check out where we stayed for 3 nights. Beautiful. After we explored the property, it was time to make some dinner. What did we have?
We don't often have access to a grill, so when we do, you can be sure that we're gonna make some corn on the cob. So we grilled up some corn and we had brought along some veg and smoked tofu for kebabs.
I think we should do a kebab recipe. What do you think?
I'm down. This was pretty simple. I didn't bring too many condiments or anything like that, so I just used a little bit of oil that was at the cabin and some salt and pepper and just rolled with the natural flavors of the veg and then the smoked tofu, which is so delicious. And then I wasn't sure if it would be quite filling enough to just have the corn and the kebabs, so I brought along some pita, some other veg, and some hummuses made from lentils instead of chickpeas. Welcome to our kitchen for the weekend.
What we got over here? Got green lentil hummus.
Green lentil, green olive hummus.
Oh, nice.
New recipe in the works. And the other one is a red lentil sun-dried tomato hummus.
Cool. I don't normally point to stuff when I'm filming, and I'm like Am I gonna touch the hummus? How close am I to the hummus?
And we built some pitas and had a bit of a feast. There is always just one downside to eating outside. Cottage life.
We persevered.
We conquered the beast.
We went inside. That's how we did it.
Yeah. We spent our first evening just enjoying the property. We went for a swim. We played some Scrabble. Oh, and then we watched the sunset. Good morning. Brian and I see lots of sunsets, but not too many sunrises. It was so bright in the cabin, but it's beautiful out. Coffee soon. And overnight oats. Overnight oats is such an easy make-ahead breakfast option. So this is a version of my peanut butter overnight oats, which is kind of our go-to overnight oats. And it has chia seeds in it and banana. And instead of chocolate chips, because we were out of chocolate chips, I put some dried cranberries in and some sliced almond on top.
For our first full day on Cortes, we decided to go exploring, and you packed some lunch and snacks.
For lunch, we have my chickpea smash on some seed bread with some lettuce, and usually I make this smash with celery, but I didn't have any. So it's charred corn and cucumber, and then there's dill in there, there's, what else is in there? Cashews, the chickpeas, so it's full of protein. It's gonna keep us satiated on our hike today. To get some exercise in, we headed to the Easter Bluff Trail for a moderate 1.8 kilometer out and back trail with a 99-meter elevation gain. The view from the top gave us a great look at the island before we headed back down and on to our next spot, Hanks Beach. Another short walk through the trees led us out to this beautiful white sandy beach with mountain views all around and some sea life to observe too. We intended to swim here, but
You know, there was like crabs doing their thing and lots of things living in the seagrass. So we just let nature be nature. You know, we had ocean back at our cabin, so we didn't swim in it. We walked in it, and there was also some jellyfish and starfish, so we didn't want to step on anything or disrupt anything. So
we just enjoyed the views.
It was really good. I highly recommend chickpea smash. Pairing a chickpea smash at Hanks Beach. I don't know if anyone's ever done it before. Might be completely original. Highly recommend it.
Great experience.
Yeah, very.
I think these are moon snail egg cases. At first I thought it was trash, but I don't think so. Moon snails are funky. I'll show you a picture of them. After our swim back at the cabin, all that sunshine got us craving a little snack.
Being at the cottage makes you really hungry. Turns out not doing much and just walking around and sitting.
You just want to eat.
Yeah, you're just like, sure, I'll have that.
Fruit tray. Ooh, we have cherries. I just remembered. And that lemonade.
Nice, nice.
This was a cake experiment. It's called harissa cake, and it's semolina or farina flour and coconut with an almond on top. It's supposed to be lemon flavored, but I haven't lemon, so it's orange flavored. That's pretty good. It's a little sweet for us, but there might be something there. One of the snacks that I brought for this weekend is my homemade granola, and this is peanut butter granola, so it's super satiating because it's oats and almonds and pumpkin seeds, coconut, and then I didn't have any maple syrup, so I used date syrup, so it's a little like more caramelly and almost chocolatey tasting. It's delicious. So if you haven't made that one yet, it's a good one.
Then we played more Scrabble.
Yeah, and then when
we were at the cottage.
And we ate some more.
We
Brian just got 84 points for G's.
Jeez, that's a lot of points.
And you might think that these are peanuts, but they're our crackers. And we're having them with our lentil hummuses.
Scrabble, crackers with a view.
Jeez, this is the life. So I'm boiling some water for some pasta. We're having some pesto pasta tonight. But I'm also gonna prep our overnight oats for tomorrow morning. Instead of bringing 6 jars, I just made 1 batch and then brought some extra ingredients. So I just mixed the dry oats with chia seeds and a bit of coconut sugar, and then brought a little bit of peanut butter and our toppings. And plant milk is awesome. Well, that's the French side. There's English. Plant milk's awesome because it's shelf stable. So it's great to bring on trips like this. Got some pesto
Ooh,
in
homemade?
a miso container.
Is it gonna be a little miso flavored?
I don't think so, I washed it, but just reusing, you know? So this is a parsley basil pesto because I didn't have enough basil. And instead of, I usually use walnuts, but I use pumpkin seeds. I kind of felt like pasta, but I wanted like a cold, refreshing pasta because we're at the cottage, you know? And then I thought I would toss in some sun-dried tomatoes. I think I put like a tablespoon of oil in this. And usually pesto is quite oily, but I actually used aquafaba, the brine in a can of chickpeas to give it a little bit of a richer flavor, a little bit of oil. I brought some oil-packed sun-dried tomatoes. So I'm gonna toss these in. And we had some leftover smoked tofu from Soya Nova. So that's going in. Oh, nobody saw that. A Brian taste test. What do you think?
I think this should be a recipe. You got sun-dried tomatoes in here. You got smoked tofu.
And we loaded up on the smoked tofu.
This should be a recipe. Do you want to see a recipe? Sprouts on top. Make Catherine make this recipe. Get it on the blog.
You have so much pesto on your lips. Is that a bee or a fly?
Ah, it's a bee. Damn. Cut.
Wouldn't be a cottage trip without s'mores.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't find peanut butter cups. So they're sunflower cups. But we've never had s'mores with the whole like Reese's Pieces vibe.
We should be able to play s'moresable and Scrabble. It's on a box. It's a real word, right?
And the way Brian plays, he'd play that word. Also, if you've had these s'morables, let me know what you think. They're gluten-free, so I think that has to do with a bit of the taste. I also can't open these. This is going to be a Brian job. They're not my favorite graham cracker substitute without honey.
Got it.
Nice. Big strong man with the plastic packaging. Thank you, I love you. These Dandies are pretty good though. Dandies marshmallows. Yeah. And these we did taste test and they taste a little like sunflower butter, but they were okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
Not quite a Reese's Pieces, but.
Yeah, but I haven't had a Reese's Pieces in a long time.
As you look off into the distance longingly. I've never done this on a barbecue before. Should I just put them down? Like whatever? You put your peppers and stuff down. So why not put your marshmallows down on a grill? Until they start to melt. This could get messy. See, Catherine just needs to think through things.
And talk it out loud. If you've been watching this video closely, our marshmallows might taste like smoked tofu, peppers, red onion, and corn on the cob.
Okay, this is like working over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting some cola. My dad would call this Kaizen. Marshmallows on a grill. I think these look pretty good. I don't want to lose them on the grill. Nice.
Ooh.
And then you got sunflower buttercup. Damn.
Eat.
Well, you gotta let it like melt a little.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of upside down. I should have.
I feel like eating s'mores is a personal thing. Everybody's got their own strategy. Yours is to get that heat on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go for it. Look at that. Is there a more perfect image?
We'll have to see if we can get the chocolate melty though. Then it'll be a more perfect image.
These look cute.
Yeah.
Can you eat it?
Oh, it is melting. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now you gotta eat it.
But I want it just a little more melty. Like if I'm gonna have it, I want to have it.
Oh yeah. Oh, but it's gonna drip. God, you're playing a dangerous game. Take a bite. Take a bite. Take a bite.
Pretty good. Ooh, look at that. Yummy.
Oh yeah. Thoughts?
It's just a graham cracker for me. I think it's just a gluten-free taste. It's okay.
Maybe you need to make your own.
I do. I thought about it, but I was making other stuff. Oh, and the sunflower butter's getting melty.
You gotta eat that, girl. Get it in there.
But I want you to see it and get really jealous. That is a good combo. I highly recommend like a Reese's Pieces instead of just a piece of chocolate. Take it to the next level. But vegan.
S'mores kiss.
S'mores, please.
Oh.
So corny.
Bad joke.
Sorry. And on that note, we're gonna watch the sunset and have a cider on the dock. Brian's in his happy place taking pictures of the sunset.
Morning number 2, coffee, overnight oats, and sitting. Love a good coffee and sit.
Although we could have sat there all day, we decided to head out onto the water for some kayaking. And our kayak, we actually popped it last summer on an oyster bed here.
Yeah, in Moorcroft. I think there's some video my dad took of us going out.
And then just
well, I don't know if we have video of that, but
it took quite a few attempts to repair it, but we finally repaired it, and this was our first test, and it stayed afloat.
Yeah.
And we're pretty glad that it did because we got some more wildlife encounters in. Moon jellyfish, seals, oysters, and sea stars. We saw lots of eagles, but we saw 2 that were encouraging their baby to fly. One more seal swam alongside us as we headed back to the cabin for some lunch. And lunch this day, we just cleaned out some leftovers.
oh,
Which
so good.
I don't think you were bummed about the leftovers.
No.
Brian just said this is, he thinks, one of his favorite things that I've ever made. So maybe it'll be a recipe soon. Let me know in the comments if you want to taste this too.
It's very quiet. Little Saturday siesta on Cortes, I guess.
With some leftovers. We had some snacks to wait out the warmest part of the day. Then we went for another swim.
Yep, it was great.
And then came dinner. So the plan for today was to have my portobello mushroom burger with avocado mash. And these avocados, I've done everything you're supposed to do to ripen them. I've had them in a plastic or in a paper bag with some bananas, and the bananas have ripened, but the avocado have not. This one, like, maybe, might, kind of, maybe, sort of, might be okay. I don't think so. But I'm not even gonna bother getting into this one. But there might be a bit of a pivot or a more lackluster dinner than I had planned. I didn't bring anything to marinate these mushrooms in. I figured they'd have oil and maybe a couple things I could use. So they have balsamic vinegar, which is awesome, and that's usually what I use. I usually have some tamari in here, but they have some Italian seasoning as well. So I'm gonna put some of that in. Yeah, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then just sort of rub some of this on these mushrooms and let them marinate in it for 10 minutes or so. And we'll put them in the barbecue. I don't have any other bowls or Pyrex or anything, so, or pastry brushes to brush these with. So I'm using my hands and I'm using a frying pan. And we're gonna see what this dinner becomes. So this avocado doesn't even want to be opened. This means it's not ready to eat. Look at that. Boo.
That's okay, you can't win them all. These are gonna be delicious, as is. We're just gonna really embrace the mushroom.
Embrace the mushroom. We're pivoting. We'll see what this becomes.
Catherine improvised, made a bowl.
Just a loaded salad, grilled veggies. We used up a bunch of leftovers that we had. There's no major protein source on here, but we've had a bunch of seed crackers and lentil hummus and other protein today, so we're not gonna stress about it. And we're gonna eat this and go for a sunset kayak. Morning. It's our last morning here, and we're having our overnight oats, but we did them up a little more fancy. And finishing off some of the fruit we brought. We have coffee, and we do take some vitamins every morning too. Some omega, some vitamin D, multivitamin. I know a lot of people aren't vitamin fans, but we take them. We packed up and said goodbye to the cabin, but the adventures were not over yet. And then we got stuck in a traffic jam.
BC traffic jam, waiting for the ferry. But we played Password. We're big on the board games. We ate, I think we finished off that pesto pasta.
Yeah, you did. And then I had some of the leftover chickpea smash.
And then we had some crackers and hummus.
Yeah, we just kind of finish off some of the
Just
stuff in our
ate.
cooler.
Yeah, it's kind of like theme of the weekend. Ate a lot.
But then when we finally got on the ferry, short ferry ride back to Cortes Island, we saw like 4, 5, 6 whales.
Yeah, really good fluke. Pretty. We didn't get it on camera, but
We just
trust us,
enjoyed it.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we wanted to stretch our legs a bit on Cortes Island before heading back to Vancouver Island. So we did another short trail. The Spit Trail was an easy walk with gorgeous views of the ocean and mountains. Finally, we caught the ferry back to Vancouver Island. And since we were an hour from home and near our favorite ramen restaurant, we turned a blind eye to the warm weather and sat down to a steaming bowl of ramen with tofu, dried tomato, and pickled shiitake. The noodles and stocks are made from scratch here, and whenever we are near, we can't turn it down. Now we are back home, and in retrospect, we did pretty well with our food for this trip. Didn't feel like we lugged too much.
No, we ate a lot of protein. It was really filling and sufficiently stuffed. Had
Yeah.
some desserts. But I didn't feel like we ate a bunch of junk either. It was good.
And we didn't have too many leftovers. We had some fruit and veg left over, and there were a few snacks that we didn't get to.
Yeah,
Like we brought popcorn.
If you want to see more videos like this, we can do that. We can take you along with us on Vancouver Island and show you what we bring and eat. It was fun.
And the best part of living on an island is that we can sunset kayak anytime we want. Now Brian's gonna row me home. Fun fact, the first time we got in a canoe, we totally faced each other. We did it wrong.
We were from Toronto. Now look at us.
BC veterans.
Thanks for watching.
Toodaloo.
See you in the next one. Maybe I'll film you jumping in.
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
Did a workout, now swim. It's not too cold. A little cold, not too cold.